Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Ada Wells and I'm a Polestar Educator in the San Francisco Bay Area here in Alameda, California. And I wanted to just present to you kind of a little mini kind of movement series here that you can do using an OOV to just help gain a little bit more mobility in your ankles. Now, the way the body likes to work is we have these alternating areas of mobility and stability that move all the way up the body. We should be mobile at the toes, stable at the arch, mobile at the ankles, relatively stable at the knees, mobile at the hips, stable at the lumbar area, mobile at the thoracic spine, stable at the shoulder girdle, mobile at the glenohumeral joint. You can kind of see the pattern. It just alternates all the way up. Now, if you've done something where you've got some stiffness down lower, the problem is all those little spins and glides that happen down at the lower, those lower joints start getting transferred up the chain. So when people end up having pain or wear and tear somewhere else up higher, your knees are getting degenerative, or you've got some arthritis in your hip, we've got to look at, well, what was happening? What are the mechanics? Where were those abnormal forces coming from? And one of the places that a lot of it comes from are the ankles. I mean, how many of us have sprained our ankles, as kids playing basketball or playing sports, or walking down a sidewalk that suddenly ends? I've done all of those. So this is just a quick little movement series using the OOV. Now, the OOV is fantastic. It is a tool that we use just in so many different ways. But the cool thing with the OOV is that we get to work the entire body, not even just one single part. So even though there might be a focus in one area, the rest of the body has to start to figure out where it is in space to be able to take on kind of the new motion that you've just acquired. Because pretty much if you give something mobility, but you don't do anything to work on how to control it, or being able to have those segments above and below control things, you're going to end up one hot mess. So I'm going to show you this little series here. All we're going to need is maybe something to hold on to is always helpful. So I'm going to use a foam roller here. We've got the OOV and a resistance band. Okay? So what we're going to do with that resistance band is we're going to go ahead and place the band around the thighs. This is here right now just to give us a little bit of feedback of where we are in space. And we're going to go ahead and take one foot so that, I'm going to start with my right foot here. So the right foot is going to be in the groove. So the great toe is right at the groove, right where things want to take off here. And we're going to allow the top leg or the front leg just to be on the top of your OOV so that the middle toe is, the second toe is right in the middle of the groove. All right? And I want you to feel as you're standing there, just take a moment to feel how the band wants to bend that back knee forward. You want to see if you can just reach into the band just to find that feedback, okay? So that's just giving you the feedback, and that is one of the nice things about the OOV and how we work with it. It's not just a prop. We're utilizing different tools, different vectors of force to get what we want instead of saying, can you just keep that leg back there? We're giving the brain no choice but to go there. So let's go ahead and just start with a little bit of just a shift forward and back on this back leg. So remembering, we're just going to keep a little bit of that tension on that back leg so you can feel the band as we just shift forward and back onto the big toe and kind of slowly back onto the heel. And you can hold on for balance. I'm totally fine with that. But as you do a few more of these and you kind of want to challenge yourself, you certainly can take your hands off and kind of play a little bit with seeing how you do. Okay, and usually when I'm trying to get a little mobility, I'm okay with you just holding on. Let's do a couple of those. And remember to keep that stretch in that band. And then let's go ahead and we're just going to switch legs. And actually, you know what? Before we switch legs, let's do this. I know it's a little tedious here, but take off your band and just walk around and feel what a difference just doing that little small amount of motion can make. Just those few little reps on the one leg versus the other. Okay, so normally when you're doing this, you don't have to switch in and out of it. But let's pull the band back up over your knees, pull the pantyhose up. All right, so now we'll put the left foot in the groove so that toe is going to be right at that junction where it wants to go up. Take the front foot and you're going to place it up on the high end of the OOV so that the second toe is right in the groove. Take that moment to stand up. Feel yourself really reaching back. And once again, the neat thing with the OOV is that it's always going to bring you to the center. So even if you are all over the place in some weird position, I don't care, because guess what? You have to find your balance. You have to work there. You're not just going to passively and lazily hang out there, okay? So let's go ahead now and just shift our weight forward and back. Once again, the weight's going to stay on that back leg. That's the emphasis, and so you're feeling how it's going to stay, the pressure's back against that band, forward and back, feeling yourself kind of get into that big toe and just slowly lower it down. Pay attention to that big toe. Once again, if you don't have mobility there, that's going to affect so many different things as you're walking. You know, instead of you bending at the big toe, maybe you collapse at the arch. And then you're collapsing at the arch, you may end up with ankle stiffness. And when you have ankle stiffness, the spins and glides now end up at your knee joint. So then you wonder why you have degenerative knees and knee pain. And so your hip tries to guard and try to hold on to everything. But that's not good, because when the hips that should be mobile start guarding, then you start moving at the lower back. So once again, you see how all of that affects you all the way up. Let's try, as we're doing the shifting forward and back, just feeling if you can balance from here. And it's always interesting just to sort of note what it feels like from one side to the other. Okay, and then we can go ahead and come on off of that. And if you would like, well, let's go ahead and do it. Let's take off the pantyhose, take off that loop, take a little walk around. And you may already feel how light, how easy it is to kind of spring the legs up. So that's just a very easy way just to get some mobility, just the big toe, with doing something with the band. Now we'll do one more little bit here. That's nice just to get a little bit of mobility around the ankle. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to stand the opposite direction. So we'll take the band, we're going to place it this time around your ankles. You're going to want to hold on to something for some balance. I'm going to just go ahead and start with the right foot up. And we want to have the foot on here so that your heel is touching, your second toe is in the groove. And you want to have that back foot far enough back that you're feeling some pretty good resistance right through the front of that ankle. And all we're going to do is we're going to just shift the weight forward and back on that front ankle. Now, if you experience any knee pain, you certainly don't have to put all your weight into that foot. You can just do more of a little, just a little bit of a direction of just keeping the weight on the back leg and just allowing that front leg to come forward, or that front knee to come forward. But if you can tolerate putting a little bit of weight on it, you can certainly put the weight on it, hold it there, keep that back leg down, and then go ahead and come off. And like I said, we can do that with balance, but we can also play a little bit with just letting yourself see if you can do that little weight shift without necessarily holding on. All right, we'll do one more of those, and then we'll switch to the other side. And let's go ahead, and I would have had you walk around, so once again, I invite you to do that on your own. I'll keep this video a little shorter without the walk. So we're going to go ahead and place the second toe, in the groove on the top of the oov, and send this back foot a little further back. Now you can have a little wider base of support. That might help a little bit for you if you are feeling a little off balance. This is great to do in a doorway. Okay, so the first version, which is a little easier on the knee for some of you, is just going to be just leaning, just allow yourself to keep the weight on the back leg, and you're just allowing just kind of your whole body just to shift forward, so you can see how we're changing the angle at the ankle, and you can work a little bit with your balance just here. Okay, the other version, which is a little bit more advanced, is actually allowing yourself just to put the weight into that front leg, almost like you want to almost take off on that back leg, and we're just going to shift it back. So I'm going to do a few of those where we just keep the weight on the front leg, maintain that back leg behind you, and just allowing yourselves just to feel a little bit of balance, and also like you can feel what's happening at the whole leg, at the whole foot. Everything gets a little chance to work here on that lower half of the body. Okay, we'll do one more. Let's go ahead and we'll come on off. Take a little walk around, and hopefully you really feel the difference of how much mobility. It's going to be a lot easier now when you go to do your squats, when you do footwork, when you're walking, when you're running, when you play golf, whatever it is. Now that we've restored some mobility at the foot, at the ankle, it's going to be a lot easier to kind of keep our pattern of where that mobility and stability happens throughout our body. Okay? So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We do OOV trainings throughout the year. Definitely make sure that you check up on the Polestar website for that. And I do lots of classes online as well. So anyways, great to see you guys, and we'll see you next time.